me that was a kind of shocking fact that we spend less of 50% of our time during which we are awake during the daytime consciously. Basically, we are more than 50% of the daytime on autopilot, which means if you are awake roughly, let's say about 17 hours on a given day, you are less than 8 hours consciously acting, which means that you are basically the person who is controlling your attention. And that's a problem. What can we do about it? That we are basically effective attention handlers. And one way is to find out how our personal attention works when it is strong, when it is less strong, or even missing. And one way to do this is to work with our attention span and the attentional space. The attention span is the time, the duration during which our attention is focused on a task. And the attentional space is a virtual space in your brain, basically the amount of information you are consciously processing. And one way to optimize the use of our time is by developing our personal attention span curve, which is pretty easy and which I will show, and making a fit between the type of tasks which are required by your studies or by your work and the attention level, which means the higher the attention level, the higher or the more complex a given task should be. While if your natural attention level is really low, then you should focus more on routine tasks. So how do we find out when our attention span curve is at its best? And just beware of another fact. You have basically only about 4 hours per day as a maximum as a premium attention span time, which means you have about or less than 50% of the daytime when you're working, when you're just roaming around or whatever you're doing when you're studying, less than 50% you know what you're doing because you have some level of attention. The other time your mind is just wandering around and you basically don't know what you're doing. And of these 50%, half of it as a maximum would be your premium attention span level. And that's what we need to study effectively.